Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is CeeChronicles and I post fragrance related content on this platform. Now if you're new and that style of content is something that you like, please do consider joining this family by subscribing. I'd very much appreciate it if you did become part of the family. Now to those who are returning, thank you so much for the continued support. Also check out my second channel, CeeChronicles Unscripted, in case you want to see more of Western reviews as well as my life outside fragrance reviews, because I post vlogs on that channel as well. The link of my second channel is going to be in the description. Now, welcome to today's video, guys. I've had this fragrance for a long time, and this was a fragrance that was really confusing me, because what I was getting in the beginning, or in the initial sprays, or in the initial 2-3 months of owning this fragrance, was just a burst of fresh citrusy, almost clean, aromatic kind of DNA. Now let me just show you the packaging. It's quite dusty because I've had it for a while. Okay, let's just make sure that it's clean there. Okay, so Le Collections d'Antiques 1910 by the House of Lattafa, and this is off their second Lattafa Pride collection, right? So it's going to be a box in a box, right? And it's the one that has the bike, right? And it comes, let me just show you where it sits. I've got a lot of things in front of me here, right? So this is a close-up of the box, and then it opens like that, and then the fragrance sits in there. Now if you watch my fragrance collection, my Middle Eastern fragrance collection, we actually almost lost this one because it fell and it chipped there, and it was one of the ones that survived. I actually lost my shahaf oud in that video. So this is the presentation, guys. As you've seen, it depends on whether you feel this is nice or tacky. I don't know. I would just say I feel, this bottle could have been smaller. Maybe it's very wide. So anyway, guys, I'm going to spray it in this box, and then I'm going to tell you my thoughts, because I think by now I have kind of figured out what they were onto. All right. Okay. So please take note that this is going to be one that you need to let sit for a while, because initial first impressions is going to just communicate as one of those citrusy fresh type of fragrances that feel very crowd pleasing to an extent you won't even be able to pin what it's about. It's just going to come across as very citrusy with that masculine tone of a DNA there. But then after it sits, it then, concentrates to something different. The notes listed for this fragrance, guys, are rose, apple, divana at the top there. And then it's going to have osmanthus and some cedarwood in the mid. And the base of it is going to be tonka, vanilla, and patchouli, right? The obvious burst that you're going to get there is an unmistakable patchouli. So this is going to be very patchouli forward. And then you're going to have something that feels like a fresh wrap up, especially if the fragrance is new to your collection. And that fresh wrap up is going to be also presenting as crisp, which is going to give you a feel of that apple. So the apple is very distinct, especially in the first month or two when you own this fragrance, after which when you revisit this fragrance 2-3 months in, there's going to be a prominent spiciness that comes to the surface there, and it's very nutmeg forward. If you love the note of nutmeg, it's going to be unmistakable. So you're going to feel as though it's cinnamony, but it's a very nutmeg forward type of spice that comes to the surface there, carrying a gentle woodiness. It doesn't lose that crisp apple, but then it becomes more of a spicy, woody, crispy scent than vice versa, right? And the notes listed are identical to those of Paco Rabanne's 1 million Elixir. And I did bring an Elixir clone here some time ago, and what I can say, guys, is the nutmeg in here I think is the twist. So I'm, in as much as the notes are 101 identical with Elixir by 1 million, I get a nutmeg forward fragrance that kind of aligns with what I get from Wafa by Ard Al Zafran. And Wafa is a fragrance that is a mix of Carlisle by Perfume's Damali, as well as Phantom, I think, Black Phantom, if I'm not mistaken, right? Kind of gives you a mix of both. So if you smelt the nutmeg in Carlisle is going to feel as though this fragrance aligns mostly with that than it does with 1 million. So because it's just somewhere there in between where I cannot distinctly say it is inspired by Lucky or it is inspired by Carlisle, apart from that, of course, the common notes that they share, which is the tonka. Let me just spray it again. The tonka, the patch, okay, which is the patchouli, and that nutmeg, it just hit me again. So there is a spicy woody nutmeg there, and it is that nutmeg that's going to make this fragrance enjoyable. Right now, mental shortcut, if I am to maybe bring it closer to home based on the fragrances that I have already in my collection, I'm going to say if you love this one, you're probably going to love that. But I think this one is still better considering the price, right? This one is Higher Tim, also from the house of Lattafa. I'm not saying they're identical, but there is like a nutmeggy thing happening in both fragrances, that spiciness, right? And to say maybe buy Wafa, or if you have Wafa, this is redundant. No, I am just bringing Wafa here because there is a likeness to Carlisle in Wafa as well, because of that spicy aromatic nutmeg that you get there in the forefront, that's going to present as a little bit of woody and very much closer to that Carlisle. So there is an undoubtable similarity or familiarity to this. If you have used that Perfume's Dumali, it does feel like it borrows a little from that without distinctly being a clone of that, right? So we are going to put it at maybe this being a standalone, or at least Lattafa's rendition or twist on Carlisle, or twist on Elixir. It's just going to depend on what your nose is going to be able to draw more, right? If you're able to draw more of that apple and that I don't get a distinct rose in here. If you're able to draw more of that apple, right, and a slight green tone there, then it's going to possibly ring a bell that's closer to 1 million Elixir than it does to Carlisle. But I think it is that nutmeg wrap up there that makes it an aha moment, because I had this, I brought it in a lineup and I didn't know what to say about it, and it was just one fragrance that was presenting as crisp and light and fresh and stuff, until that woodiness, that spiciness came to the surface, and I was like, oh, okay, I think I do have something that is a bit close to this in terms of how it interprets that nutmeg, and it's certainly a woody, spicy nutmeg, and it actually makes this one more enjoyable, and it makes it maybe 70-30 in terms of whether women can wear it as well. Getting it offset was just coming across as an outright fragrance that would be masculine leaning, or very much aligned with anyone who loves masculine fragrances. But it is that nutmeg kick there that makes this otherwise crisp fragrance in the beginning end up being a nice, spicy, aromatic, woody wrap up. For now, we're going to leave it at that. The fact that if you love Carlisle by Perfume's Dumali and a little bit of that 1 million, you're going to definitely love this. But if you don't own either, I'm going to say it does have that crowd-pleasing appeal. It doesn't have a Middle Eastern tone to it. It is a fragrance that is easy to like and quite enjoyable there. Whether or not it's going to wow you is going to depend. But if you like fragrances that are not that complex, then you're going to get it, guys, from La Collection 1910 of their second Lattafa Pride collection. The lasting power for this is also decent, right? It doesn't have a massive sillage, but it's a fragrance that people in a close radius with you, let's say 4 meters, somewhere thereabout, will be able to smell, and you, the wearer, will be able to smell this the whole day. It does last the whole day, right? It's just in terms of how it projects and the sillage and stuff. I'm gonna say people around you, especially that 4 or 5 meter radius, will be able to smell you in the first 3-4 hours. After which it becomes a fragrance that somebody has got to be very close to you, like maybe 1.5-2 meter radius. They can smell you, but you, the wearer, are going to smell it the entire time. CeeChronicles is my name. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section, guys, where we'll obviously discuss more about fragrances. Let me know your thoughts on this one. I do not have the one that has the old car. If I can get my hands on it, I will, but trying to save some coins here, guys. So I'm not going to promise when I'm going to bring that, but if I can get my hands on it, I will definitely bring it here. Do turn on post notifications on both my channels. That way, guys, you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Meanwhile, like and share this one, and remember that smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.